The views expressed on this Turnbuckle Tabloid live stream or Turnbuckle Tabloid podcast episode do not reflect the views, thoughts, or opinions of the Rageworks brand, including the Rageworks podcast network, Rageworks content partners, advertisers, and affiliates. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The listener. In case you haven't heard, because I've been basically saying it for the past few weeks, we just started a new network. Yeah, New York Wrestle Media. It's a whole virtual experience visually for all those connected in the world of wrestling, pop culture, live stream video games. Oh, it's happening. And it's not only me doing it. Yeah. Got a few cohorts who jumped in the mix, covering subject matters as history, indie wrestling, news of the day, pop culture, and like I mentioned, video games. I know, me too. I'm excited. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, Twitch, and on TikTok for New York Wrestle Media. Follow, subscribe, like, be a part of the vibe of all things connected with New York Wrestle Media.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Michael Kingston, creator of Headlocked, and you are listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Jay Bougie, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
This is the King of New York, Jay Bougie. You feel what I'm saying? You're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Yeah, it's your boy Jay the Red Santee, your host of Turnbuckle Tabloid, here to say thank you to you, the listener, for being a part of the 7 years of wrestling, babble, and all things ridiculous here at Turnbuckle Tabloid. The podcast has been here doing it big for so many years, and we appreciate every person who's subscribed and listened to the podcast each and every year. But I got something else for you guys. Yeah, we've been doing it up different this time of year. Starting to expand our wings a little bit more. We're hitting up the YouTubes, hitting up the Twitch, hitting up the TikToks. Yeah, boy, hitting up the IGs as well. We're doing live streams there, and I want you guys to be a part of it as well. It's going to be exclusive content there. So what you don't get on the podcast, you'll get on the live streams. So it'll be great if you guys like, subscribe, began following all those social media websites for Turnbuckle Tabloid. And believe me, you will not miss a thing. Catch us there. Give me that fucking mic! Turnbuckle Tabloid, cutting a promo. I need a moment to deal. Right, I'm just processing everything that's going on right now. All right, you gotta give me a moment. I gotta.
Yeah, okay, you gotta woosah.
Unfortunately, my New York Mets did not make it to the World Series. But congratulations to them. They gave it one hell of a run. They weren't supposed to be where they're at all.
At all.
At all.
At all.
Come July, everybody was like, all right, see you next year.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, big shout out to them. As per that other team for New York, man, whatever.
They'll bring it home to New York. Don't worry.
No, I want to be the first one laughing when they don't. I'm okay with that.
How dare you?
I'm okay with that. But congratulations to the New York Liberty as well for bringing home a championship for New York. Thank you, ladies.
Very surprised that that's the first time they've ever won a championship.
I thought the same too. I forgot that that they've been there, but they've never won. They brought a championship home, so wow. I was pretty shocked by that.
That's great.
But it's at least there's some goodness that's coming out of there. But also on the flip side with wrestling, there's been some shocking development that's occurred the past couple of days. We'll get to that in a sec, but before we do that, we're going to get into cutting a promo, and I might as well just drop. I put the drop in here for a reason. So, where are you, my little? Where did I put you at? Oh, here we go.
Give me a fucking mic! Turnbuckle Tabloid cutting a promo.
Yeah, I do that for sometimes.
Tabloid cutting a promo.
That's my announcement. So this week's cutting a promo I want to discuss is something that I've been seeing every day on the social medias when it comes to wrestling. How often do you monitor like wrestling groups and such like that? Are you in wrestling besides Turnbuckle Tabloids? But are you in wrestling group chats and all that?
That's probably the only like Facebook group chat I'm in. But I'll look at like Twitter and within Instagram comments, YouTube comments on videos to see what people are saying and how they're reacting to things. So,
Do sometimes you look at and you just go, Mark?
I think like every other comment, I'm like, oh God, here we go. Mark.
But I say that because I clearly want to have an understanding with the IWC.
Right.
I don't do this to ridicule you, and plus this goes down to a story that I have in Wrestling Rundown, which we'll get down to in a sec, which is all opinions, thoughts, and feelings about wrestling is welcome because that's your love for wrestling. Just like I have my love for my sports teams.
Right.
Yes. I'm not anybody's GM. I'm not anybody's agent. I just have opinions, and that's what the show is really about, just to have opinions. I remember when I first started Turnbuckle Tabloid, I was very gung-ho on wanting to be controversial or have some kind of presence just so that people could put eyes on me. But after a while I sat back and I was like, no, this is just basically an opinionated kind of fucking show. Who really gives a shit about what the next person says? But also want to have that presence in mind to have people to pay attention to be like, hey, this might be a good idea down the line or such. I say that because people really have this thought process that every wrestler should go over. Everybody's got to be, main eventing and such. You being a lifelong wrestling fan and such.
Yeah.
Your favorite wrestler being Bret Hart, right? Right.
Correct.
Bret wasn't in the main event scene once he started, did he?
No, he had to work his way up.
You know, Stampede Wrestling.
Right.
Working under Dad. Cowboy Bret Hart. Wasn't really really resonating with the fans at that time.
Correct.
But then, sometimes you get you get a little love from the fan base, and you get the rub. You get part of a tag team, and then maybe somebody sees something different in you. Shawn Michaels, the Rockers. Yeah. What do you think it takes for someone to start elevating themselves to become a prominent figure with the fan base?
Well, you definitely have to have a presence in the ring. You have to be impressive ring set wise, move set wise. Have a great look that catches people's attentions. The gimmick obviously is probably the biggest thing that you need, is something that the fans can resonate with. For example, like, we were talking about the Outrunners, right?
Right.
They have that 80s gimmick. And, they came into AEW out of nowhere. They did their little stint in Ring of Honor. They earned their place now in AEW. While they were in Ring of Honor, they weren't winning any matches, but their gimmick and their style in the ring and how they presented themselves really won over the fans. They put in the work.
Right.
They embodied that style of what they wanted to be. And now they're in AEW and they're super over. They come out to huge pops. And it's kind of knows where they can go from here now.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, no.
Yeah, no, but that's basically it. I mean, you have to really present yourself in a way that the fans can say, "Oh, these guys are awesome," or "This chick is great," and just keep running with it.
What goes over bigger? Because this is what I saw earlier as well. This is what has brought me to the conclusion that I need to do a promo about this.
Right.
Is it the ring work? Is it the gimmick? Is it the appeal? I know it's a little bit of everything, but we've seen numerous wrestlers who have done the 5 moves of doom and been over.
Right.
But what do you think is the initial draw when it comes to the connection?
I think it really depends on the worker himself or herself. Like you said, there's some people who have 5 little moves. They're not the most technical or the most high flying in the ring, but their personality and how they come off catches the eyes of the fans.
Mm-hmm.
So they can forgive, okay, he may not wrestle that well, but he looks freaking awesome, or he speaks really great on the mic, or he represents something that I love in my heart. Whereas there are some other wrestlers who may not have the most unique gimmick, but they're so damn good in the ring that you can't help but fall in love with what they do. So
yeah.
I think it's subjective depending on who it is.
There's always been this whole conversation, especially when you hear the elder statesmen of wrestling, when you get under the learning tree and not Jericho's, and you hear the conversation, and it's, you got to talk him to the ring, daddy. That's how we bring him in. That's where the money,
right.
And when we look at the probably one of the biggest names in wrestling of all time, when you look at The Rock, when he first came out, he might have been ring ready. He might have had some, something going on in there, but that look and that,
right, the floppy hair, yeah. Personally, when he came out on the scene, I said, "Wow, this guy, he's got an amazing." Like, he looked amazing once he took off that funky little blue thing that he wore,
right?
Those little straps. Like, once he was in the ring, he looked amazing. He had just incredible physique, incredible face, incredible moves in the ring for somebody of his size. He can move a lot. He can move fast. But yeah, he was just so generic, He was so generic, and nobody really bought into his happy-go-lucky personality that he came in with.
Yeah,
always
I think that.
smiling,
I don't think the tassels were the selling point.
Yeah, it came off as disingenuous. It just came off like, oh, here's this guy trying to be this big baby face, and at that time too, people just didn't really care for the baby face like that.
Yeah, he looked like a party favorite when he came out.
Yeah, like a piñata.
Although,
yeah, it took for him to cut that one promo when he turned heel and joined the Nation for the fans to say, "Oh, wait a minute, this guy can talk.
Right?
He could talk, and he's good in the ring."
I've seen videos right now when it comes to fast forwarding to talent. Everybody was so appalled and upset when WWE didn't fight to keep Ricochet, and he's in AEW now. Fantastic athlete, great, amazing. Get him a mic, woof.
Yeah. I feel like little by little he's getting more comfortable with a mic, being in front of the mic. I just think that when he was in WWE, he just never had that opportunity to really cut promos frequently like other wrestlers do.
Do you think that that's done purposely, or do you think that just someone says he ain't got it?
I don't know. I mean, maybe they initially thought maybe he don't got it, but they should have just given him a chance to. Hold on one second. My cat is trying to get my attention. Get out of here.
You podcast. I'm saying you wrestling podcasters and your cats.
Gosh, Jesus Christ! She's laying on the floor with her back to me, like whatever.
Okay.
But it could have been that. It could have been that he tried to cut a couple of promos and they were like, just let him just speak in the ring. Let him do his talking with the ring moves, So that just never gave him the chance to warm up to being a speaker, to warm up to being a promo guy. And not everybody's a promo person either, you know?
No, listen, I've had these conversations with let's say with Brian Excel from House of Glory. It's he's always said, yo, that's not me, bro. I can't. I get comfortable when I'm on the podcast with you, but everywhere else is like, no. Red, amazing Red, fantastic athlete, everything.
Right.
Hear him cut a promo, it's like, whoa. It's like,
yeah, it's like 2-3 words, and you're like, oh, okay.
It's out here.
Right. No, it's true. I mean, and back to Ricochet, I think maybe now that he is getting a little more time in front of the camera to speak, he's being interviewed, cutting a couple of promos in the ring, calling out challengers and whatnot. Like, who knows? He may actually just needed that extra time to find his voice.
The other measure that I'm looking at is where when it comes to why can't they get over is that some people may understand that, one thing we mentioned earlier was time, putting in the work, putting in the hours, the ring work, getting that over. Also, everybody has a position to play. There's always a role. And when your number's called, your number's called. One of the big guys that is getting a lot of heat this day and age, and especially on this end, on the Turnbuckle Tabloid New York Wrestle Media side, is Jey Uso. The guys on this side are like, he is a tag team wrestler full life. And it's like, but the crowd wanted it. They that's what it is. Was he a mini version of Roman? Was he force fed us?
I don't think so. I don't think he was force fed. I think he really got over organically. He had this style to him, this personality to him that was super infectious, right? I mean, we would see him even him breaking character on screen and laughing inappropriately when he wasn't supposed to be laughing. Like, that won over the fans because he just seemed real,
right?
And then of course, obviously, the storylines that they had where he was having that battle, that internal battle with Roman and with his brothers, and it just, the fans fell in love with him. They chose him over Jimmy.
Yeah, I thought the same for a while, that this was a guy that automatically needed something. It was in the cards for him that it was. Now everybody's saying, well, look who's turning out to be the better wrestler. It looks like Jimmy's going to be the guy. I said, but once again, with Jimmy, it's more like maybe, distance make the heart grow fonder. I can't miss you if you don't know how to leave. And when you come back, they played it out to where he's now going to make you pop. Oh, I always knew that he could cut promos. I know he was. I didn't hear you guys talking that shit before. Now all of a sudden you're talking it.
Yeah. I mean, everybody was always about J. Oh, J,
right.
J. Jimmy was. I always kind of felt bad for Jimmy because I'm like, Jay gets a lot of attention from fans and also within the storyline.
Right.
I always felt like Jay was the one that was getting the singles matches against Roman and whatnot, and Jimmy was kind of in the back burner. And even when they did finally split them up, Jay still was the one that got over more.
Right.
Whereas Jimmy was on SmackDown kind of just being a henchman. And then flip-flopping back and forth, not knowing if he was going to be a henchman, and then he got injured. So that pretty much kind of set him back a bit. So maybe
also,
now that he's back, we'll see a little more of what he can do, especially if he's coming back as a face.
Also, there's and people believe that there's a misunderstanding when it comes to downgrading or leveling down when it comes to being a main eventer to now becoming a mid card, knowing your role when you can do that. Why is this person in this position when they're so much better? They should be somewhere else. They should be high on the card. They should be main eventers.
Yeah.
It's a packed house when you want to talk about main event individuals. We just talked about Jay being main event Jay, but technically he's a mid carder. I mean,
mid card champion, right?
Right. So there's certain reasons why individuals are put in that place, especially in modern day wrestling. When we watched it years ago, it was, getting storylines pushed forward, putting other wrestlers over. Did the wrestling fan base become too involved and get too much in the know about what needs and what's going on in the business, or they just believe that they do and then try to sell off that they know better than the creative?
Yeah, I was gonna agree with your first point, but now that you mentioned the second point, yeah, that's where I kind of fall in line with where the fans, yeah, they are in the know. Obviously, there's a lot of things that get revealed in the IWC, rumors and news and whatnot. But sometimes the fans act like they are backstage. They're in on the meetings. They're sitting with creative, and they know so much. And it's like, guys, you don't know anything until it happens on TV.
That's my thing. I like, see, this is why Mike gets mad at me, because I make predictions and I'm kind of good at that. Like, because creatively I can make, some things, I don't know, make it look like I know what I'm talking about. But I don't sit there and have this tit for tat anymore. I actually enjoy listening to people be upset. Mm-hmm. Shout out to M2 Inc. for my partner on Collar to Pinfall episode coming out soon. Check us out on New York Wrestling Media. He is just disgusted at how Drew McIntyre is being treated this past couple of weeks. Punk shouldn't have gone over. This is ridiculous. And I'm like, I enjoy that you have that passion, because that's what it's supposed to do. That's what wrestling is supposed to do. But it's so stupid. I know it is. And I'm glad that you feel that way. That means you're a passionate wrestling fan.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted for wrestling to do for us, to bring out and emote that, bring out that. This is the only genre that I know. I don't hear people arguing about this about a Netflix series. Like, they don't have these kind of like,
at least not as passionate as wrestling fans.
No.
You'll hear people like, "Oh, I can't believe they ended that series like that. That's disgusting." But I guess because this is like 24/7 basically for us.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
That is just like, it's like a novela that plays every day on TV for 50 years, and wrestling's the same thing. It's like it's on every week, several times a week, depending on if you watch both promotions or not.
Yeah.
It's just a constant cycle of stories that pull at our heartstrings or make us angry or make us happy. And yeah, we got to bring that out. We have to, if nothing excites you anymore, then that product may not be for you anymore.
Yeah, I find it that it's like it's more of the wanting to be in the know too much that kind of doesn't piss me off, but it just amuses me when I see it, because you just shaking my head. Like, you guys really don't. You have no. You know who should be the champ right now? Andrade. He should be the champ right now. Okay, explain to me why.
Why? Right, exactly.
What do you mean why? It's like
because you like him, or is
yeah, exactly. Like, okay,
what he presented to the table in the last few months, that he should be elevated from speed. Is he still speed champion, by the way?
No, I don't. Is he? I don't even know. Like,
does that even exist? That still exists?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I haven't really heard much talk about it. So
they just started the men's tournament now, so they just started as a. Was it Pete Dunne? I think Pete Dunne is the champ.
Oh, jeez.
Another one. That's a guy that I can argue about. Me, I'm a big Pete Dunne guy, and I'd be like, why is he not being elevated? But everything is weights and measures.
Yeah, it's like everybody kind of has to take their turn. It's like a like a cycle, like almost like musical chairs. Like, okay,
right,
you got to go around the circle. Whoever lands in that spot lands in that spot, and then everybody else got to keep on going. And some days they're going to be up top, and other days they're going to be kind of put on the back burner a little bit to give another person a chance to prove themselves. And
just be happy it's not the Hogan era, because you would have never won a championship. Right. People who we liked years when Hogan was champ, the Junkyard Dogs, the Jake the Snake Roberts, the Roddy Pipers, especially Roddy.
Mhm.
I would have done the job for Roddy, brother. No, you wasn't. You
No.
were not going to do the work. You was not going to do that for him.
Yeah.
Even now with the whole, oh my God, Cody's champ. That's the other thing that I find that it's the funniest thing, the fickleness of the fan base. And thank you for Brian Danielson for introducing that terminology to the wrestling world.
That is so
fickle.
Straight facts.
Fickle.
They are very fickle. I mean, we saw how everybody hated Roman. Oh, he's been champion for too long. He needs to go away. And then he goes away, and what happens? Everybody was crying for him to come back. Like within the week of him taking his break after Mania, everybody's like, "Oh, Roman needs to come back. We miss Roman. Where's Roman?" And then Roman comes back, and everybody's like, "Oh, Roman!" It's the weirdest. The same with Cody.
Cody didn't even have the belt a week, and it was already losing their shit.
Everybody wanted Cody to win. He should have won. He should have finished the story a year ago. And then he finally finishes his story while he fleshed out the story, because he couldn't flesh out the full story coming back from an injury for so long. He gets it, and now everybody's like, he sucks. Listen, personally, I don't think his title run has been the most exciting, most compelling one. But he has a championship belt now. You wanted it, he got it.
Now, and like I said, you're someone who knows the history as well. Co-host of History and Headlocks here with us at New York WrestleMania. Episode out today, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. Oh no, tomorrow. Sorry, episode out tomorrow. Today is our third announcers table. Yeah, that's a doozy.
I saw shout out tomorrow one.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, they loaded it up this week, but it's entertaining. Shout out to Mark Bays. I did not know you spoke Japanese. That was different. Yeah, you gotta check that one out.
Oh, I gotta check that out during the week when I have some free time.
Yeah. So when it comes to the babyface getting the title. When was the last time you saw a babyface run that was really exciting? Like, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the tradition that the babyface champion has to be the one to face adversity, right? They won't cheat to win. They have challengers coming at them from all corners. They gotta, take every challenge head on. They're the ones getting beaten down every week for them to come back at the pay-per-view and get the win, right? That's just how a babyface champion will always be booked. Whereas a heel babyface is, he's cheating, he's talking shit, he's attacking his opponents, he's got his little henchmen helping out. That's just the story of the hero and the villain,
right? So
you can't expect Cody to have this spectacular run where he's, doing crazy crap all over the place. That's just not in the nature of the face.
You don't expect a 1,000-day run with a Cody. Like, that's just not something you do with a face. It just doesn't work like that. Last run we saw besides Roman that was big, I think it was Punk's, right? And Punk wasn't even, I think he was a heel at the time as well. Like, he was off and on it as well. So it wasn't even, you're not going to see when it comes to the baby faces such a long run like a Hogan era before. Like, it's not the same anymore.
No.
Yeah. And with, like I said, the temperature that it's always changing with the wrestling fan base, who knows? My guy, who I'm a big fan as well, Kevin Owens, might turn out to win it. And when he doesn't win it, I'll be the one sitting there going, why he ain't win? He should have won. It's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, I think this is a good. I think that's the good choice to defeat Cody. I mean, I know everybody's like, oh, Roman, or even people saying The Rock. No, he doesn't need the belt. The Rock doesn't need the belt. Roman, I think right now Roman is kind of busy dealing with the whole bloodline thing. The title belt shouldn't even be on his radar right now. And it was either going to be KO or Randy.
Right. And, even that, and then of course you get the fans who go, "Why Randy? He's old. He's all right." I'm like, whatever.
A lot of those guys there aren't exactly that young.
Before we move on to the wrestling rundown, I would say the same thing about for the women's division.
Mm-hmm.
For years I would always say, and it was because of how promoters treated it. It was a novelty and such. Now with such a boom that's happened, and now that the women's wrestling has excelled for this past years, everybody's now saying, well, why are they investing so much time in it? Why, and if so, why are they not putting them over? Well, as opposed to 5-10 years ago,
right?
Now the landscape is huge. Like it's that whole pool is filled. You got stars everywhere across the line, from Mariah May, Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, Bayley, Tiffany Stratton. They're all across the board, and you got the up and comers behind them who are, making their way. Mm-hmm. How do you fit them into that same kind of? How do we get not only just the wrestler, but the women itself over?
I know it's hard. It's hard when they have so many on the rosters and with just a limited amount of time on TV, right? And I mean, like a little bone that I have to pick with WWE, especially with the Raw women's title scene right now. I feel like they give these belts to these women and they don't do shit with it. They just parade around with the belt over their shoulders, and like right now, Liv. When's the last time we saw Liv defend that belt on TV?
That's the other thing as well. No fighting champions.
I mean, we see Nia doing a little more on SmackDown, from what I see. But, even with Rhea, when Rhea had the belt, it's like, she would just have the belt and she'd be walking around with Judgment Day and barely defended it just at the pay-per-views. And it's like, why are they not having matches on TV? Because that gives other women a chance to be featured on TV too.
Yeah. I'm kind of, and that's my problem with it as well. If you're, if you want to showcase them, get them out there fighting, but make them look like look. I get it. Heels are dastardly; they don't really fight with them. But for women, you got to get them out there more. You got to get them more. And I appreciate the fact that they put them on main events. I appreciate that. Right. Now they're putting into queue times when it comes to the high point ratings for shows, so that we get the large viewerships. They're getting that look,
right?
But you're not getting them, more in that rotation, especially giving them purpose for, title contentions.
Yeah, I mean, you just see random women thrown together into like a 10-women tag team match on Raw a couple of weeks ago, just to have them on TV. Whereas at least in AEW, you see Mariah May, she defends that belt pretty frequently.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She'll be on both shows defending it. You'll see Mercedes pop out and defend her belt on TV as well. Like, they're actually fighting champions.
She's the workhorse. She's the workhorse champ right now.
But like at least they're doing that. They're wrestling different women every week. Even women you were like, why is she getting a title shot or even the whatever they call that, the pre-title shot.
Right.
I forgot
the number one contenders.
Yeah, but they're getting more time on TV in AEW.
Yeah.
Like you'll see the Harleys and the Anna Jays and the Animatas popping up on TV and getting their matches in.
Yeah. That's the one hiccup I could say on the WWE side they need to do a little bit more with. And
they were doing really well before. I don't know what happened.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And they always seem to be the one that get bumped when it comes to time restraints. They're always
when they could bump a freaking backstage segment or two. Because they're overkill with that sometimes with the backstage.
Oh, yeah, that's another story. We'll get to that. That'll be another cutting a promo. But that's gonna wrap us up here on cutting a promo. We'll just lead right into Wrestling Rundown. Let me play the music, people.
It's Wrestling Rundown with Jay Santy.
Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Yeah, I actually do production here. I actually do work on the inside. I do intros. I do stingers. I do a lot of I almost make it seem like though like I'm actually a producer or some shit over here. Whatever. As always, I'm the Norm McDonald of this segment, and this is your Wrestling Rundowns weekend update. I'm just quickly going to some rundowns here. Hornswoggle gets a Legends deal. Aww.
Oh, that's good for him. That's good for him.
I enjoyed Hornswoggle's time in WWE. I was I love my little people. I do. I'm a huge fan of my little people. It's good to see that door is being open a little bit more to former WWE wrestlers and such. I believe RVD also announced that he's gotten his Legends deal as well. It's good to see that the WWE is starting to show more love to those who are not with them anymore. I wonder what I mean. Of course, I know there's some money that goes involved, especially when it comes with likeness and such. But I wonder what the real deal looks like. Like what that entails.
Yeah. Like, do they have like a set amount of appearances they have to make per year?
Right.
Or like merch, obviously, because they do their merch deal from that. Yeah. And like royalties, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing that everybody's like, yeah, get them their royalties. That's the whole big spiel. Let's get them some kind of recoup money, especially Jesse Ventura. Now he's got a Legends deal. And he's gonna be working, so expect Jesse Ventura to be on Saturday night's main event.
Right.
So yeah, let's see how that plays out.
Yeah.
So the Motor City Machine Guns made their debut on SmackDown. Well, this was past week. Did you see? Well, did you get to see it? No, you were at House of Glory.
I was at House of Glory, yeah, but I saw I saw the clips online.
What was your thoughts on their debut?
The song is so damn generic.
Oh, I can't wait for that production team to be gone.
God. I was actually hoping they would have been able to use the song they've been using in TNA all this time. You know, like that is so like it's them. It says their names in the song. Like why? Right? And it's just they came out. I was watching and waiting, and I'm like, where the hell's the song going? And I'm like, oh.
Hopefully there is some changes that could occur. Apparently, WWE is going to be using copyrighted music from here on out once their music production team is donezo. So let's see how that goes. Maybe they're from Detroit. They're from Michigan.
Right.
Eminem, maybe? No, we're not going to get that now.
I mean, they just need to.
Yeah, they got to be something.
Yeah. And like, even when they came out, I was a little like, all right, it felt a little underwhelming. Their intro, their first intro to the ring. I don't know.
I'm just happy to see them there getting that bag. And
I hope they do something good for them.
Man, 20 years, right? Shit.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when they were in Ring of Honor as just singles wrestlers, and they're really, great guys too.
And Shelley had dabbed in the WWE universe for a little bit when he wrestled in NXT. So, good to let's see how they can ramp up that tag team division.
Hopefully.
So it's been said that blading is going to be allowed in WWE only on special occasions.
Only on pay-per-view. Or PLEs, I should say.
You gotta pay to see it.
I mean, I've been saying it all this time. I'm like, look, I understand they don't want to be gory, they don't want to be too gratuitous with it. But if we're watching two grown people fighting in a ring, especially a hardcore match, the weapons are being used and there's no blood getting drawn, it takes away from the believability of it. You know? Like
Yeah,
you can't get slammed upside the head with a steel garbage can and not expect some kind of cut somewhere. Come on.
yeah. I'm not with the gratuitous
Right, you
of
don't want it
the
to happen throughout the whole show.
Right. My eyes can't see all that nastiness. But no, you're right. It should be done when necessary. And I think what happens is sometimes if a lot of these guys, they don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, sometimes boo-boo happens.
Yeah, like what happened with Drew.
Right.
Split open.
I actually thought that was going to get him even over more when he returns. I believe that the fan base are going to love him even more because of that shit.
They better. I mean, good Lord, he had his skull cracked open.
Right. 16 stitches.
Right down the middle of his head, too. Like he got a new part, man.
Shit. I cry when I get a paper cut. He got God damn.
He kept going. Yeah.
That's why he's my boo. But yeah. So I'm glad that they're actually bringing that up. My whole thing is, will they black and white it?
No. Don't do that.
Especially when they do the Well, I'm trying to remember. Did they do that when they did a replay of the match? Did they black and white it?
I don't think
so. I don't remember.
I can't remember off the top of my head. But I hope not. I mean, what's the point of even letting them do it?
Right.
And see the red. We want to see the red.
Yeah, we're some bloodthirsty individuals out here. Shit.
Come on.
Well, looks like your girl got a new contract.
Well deserved too.
Very well. She has been. Would we say like in the past 5 years that she's been like the most. Not most improved, most impressive wrestler, not just female wrestler of all.
Yes, period. Yeah, I mean, going from looking like a generic Barbie doll to what she is today, like, oh my God, and what she could do in the ring. I mean, she's vicious. And her mic work is off. I mean, she could cut a promo. I know tomorrow. And, she got those acting skills down too. I mean, she really is an ideal package. Like exactly what WWE wanted, she gave them. Yeah, she's a lifer. She's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's a testament to the craft and putting in the work. And you could tell that this was someone who got in the business was like, no, I know what I got to do this. Oh no, I'm coming in for.
Exactly. She worked hard for it and she knew exactly what she had to do.
So congratulations to Rhea. Get that bag, girl. Let's just make sure we don't get her injured. I don't need her off for TV for too long.
No more injuries, girl. No more.
Speaking of getting that bag, Lio Rush signs with AEW again.
Yeah. You know what? They're using him. He's on TV every week. And I'm curious to see if in time we'll see that Blackheart come out.
I'm waiting to hear that Bobby Lashley Lio Rush interaction.
It's coming.
I still laugh with the MVP. Ain't nobody worried about you. I was just crying in that promo. Yeah, I was just interested because Leo a few years ago made some shady comments about Tony Khan and his thoughts about how they treat black wrestlers.
Right.
There. And for him to get the return treatment that he got, I was like, oh, okay, well that's very honorable of Tony to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably had their talk and their hash things out. And,
it was
Tony, and not only that, but Tony has also been listening because you do see a lot more black wrestlers in AEW getting elevated. Was that on your side?
New York? Yeah.
Wasn't sure that was on my side or your side.
Sounds of New York, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it. they've been elevated. You see a lot of black wrestlers in AEW right now getting their time on TV. They're getting their title shots. They're getting their title belts. So he listened to the complaints.
Yeah, it also reminds me of what the gentleman spoke about in the third announcer table about, should there be more of a push for black wrestlers? And Mark was like, it shouldn't be about color. It should be about earn your spot, earn your way.
Absolutely, that too.
Because we say the same thing about our people, our Latinos, our Browns, and we're like, listen, earn your way, man.
Yeah, everybody has to climb that ladder like anybody else, no matter what.
Yeah, and check out History and Headlocks episode be out tomorrow about the thoughts of Latinos in wrestling and the impact, as well as who needs to be making their way as well. So
exactly, it's a good one.
That out. Brian Danielson's semi-retirement. Is it a semi-retirement, or should the man just hang it all up?
Oh God, I know. It's so conflicting. I love that. I mean, I love Brian Danielson since the moment I first saw him wrestle in Ring of Honor all those years ago. Like, he's one of those guys that I never not want to see never wrestle again.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we have to be realistic that the body isn't as strong as it used to be. He's not as young as he used to be, and I mean, if he's willing to try to be semi-retired, but the problem with that is how often will that semi-active time be? Because what's the point of being semi-retired if you're going to be in the ring every couple of months?
Sometimes the body will tell you, but the mind won't. Like, you have to know when to cash it in.
Like Ric Flair.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean, sister? Woo!
Lord.
Yeah, I think that's when it comes to that, realizing that I do love the business. Happens in all sports. Happens in football, baseball, and all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to know when we got to cash it in. So I'm hoping that maybe down the line you'll see maybe one last big match, because I don't know. I feel kind of something about it being with Moxley being his last match. Maybe it should be something bigger. I don't know, but or a dream match to close it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think for now, what he should just do is just stay away from the ring.
Yeah, just relax.
Get
just
the
chill.
surgery. See how you heal. Spend time with your kiddos, because they really want their dad home, and I don't blame them. And if he comes back on screen, maybe it shouldn't be as a wrestler capacity for now,
right?
And then give it a couple of years and see how you feeling. And then if you're feeling strong again, then you can have. And if he does have a dream match, who do you think that would be with?
Yeah, it could be a pick of litter of really from anywhere across the board. Damn, I'm thinking like technical wise, nostalgia. You could get a lot of individuals, from Punk to I don't know, to another one last one with Nigel. Like, it could be, you could have a whole litany of a throwback to Ring of Honor. You could have a whole you could litter there.
Yeah, there's a lot that he could pick from.
Yes.
And we know that he's going to just stick around in AEW because he has that backstage contract anyway. I don't care what anybody says.
Nah, he'll be all right.
He's employed by them.
Yeah. Make sure you be able to still pick up your kids, sir. That's all it is, man. It's
exactly. You'll be able to play with your baby boy.
Yeah, exactly. Jimmy Jacobs done with AEW. Jimmy Jacobs was one of the agents, creative as well with AEW, but it seems as though his time with them is completed, and it doesn't seem like it was a good departure. There are some stories that are saying that Jimmy might have been a fly in a lot of people's ointment, as they would say backstage.
Yeah, I know. I was reading like a list of possible issues that he was having. The one that made me say, no, that can't be, is that he didn't know who Okada is. Come on. I don't believe that shit. Come on. This guy, listen, this guy has been in the wrestling business for well over 20 years now. I actually was buddies with him when he was in Ring of Honor. He's the guy that introduced me to MySpace. Put it like that.
Oh, okay.
That's how long
Wow.
ago I knew this guy. When he was like, "Do you have MySpace?" And I'm like, "What's MySpace?" That's how far back. So
Wow.
for people to sit there and say that he doesn't know somebody like Okada, now you're just talking out your ass. Maybe the other things were valid about what his creative ideas were, but I think they're
Yeah.
throwing in bullshit now just to taint his name.
Yeah. It's business. Everybody's going to sit there and, throw shade, or the case may be, to an individual, especially on how they're going out. Apparently he wasn't, very much giving when it came to creative, on the creative side, but
Right.
you allowed a lot of his stuff to go on. Apparently he's part of the learning tree.
Right. I heard that.
Storyline. So you allowed a lot of his stuff to be on. So he must have did something for you.
Yeah, right. And and I guess maybe in time they were like, this learning tree thing isn't really panning out the way we were hoping at all. So, and I forgot what else was on that list, but I remember saying, "Oh God, really? He was involved in that too?" Like, and I'm like, "Oh God, really?" Like,
I think he was actually involved in the BCC storyline as well.
Something.
Yeah, I think he was involved in that as well.
I was like, wow. And I mean, I was actually talking with nephew about it when the news first dropped, and I'm like, well, he worked in WWE for a while, so maybe he still had that WWE sports entertainment stink on him.
Probably.
He didn't know how to break away from the outlandish stuff,
right,
that we were so used to seeing in WWE, and he tried to bring it in, thinking that could help, but it just nobody wants to see that in AEW.
Yeah. Listen. That's why it's two separate companies. This is why you get, you there's a flavor. There's a flavor of ice cream for everybody.
Exactly.
Just want to see how this is gonna. I just hope it doesn't get nasty down the line. It just
I know. Like, all right, you guys parted ways. You part ways. Move on, Jimmy. Get a new job. Go work for TNA again or something. I don't know.
Right. You look so good to me. Rico made his debut at Wrestle Dream, and that's the perfect team to put him with.
That was it's so funny. Like, Mike and I were having our own little like mini predictions in chat that day, and I remember him saying that he thought that Dijak was going to be the one to come out. And I was like, Dijak? Why the fuck would Dijak be with MXM? Like, it didn't make sense to me.
But a lot of stuff in AEW doesn't make sense, because I wouldn't put Brian Keith with Jericho. I mean, it looks like it's working a little bit now, but
it just no, he's making. Listen, Brian Keith with his little one-liners, he's killing it.
Right.
But I just didn't. That doesn't feel like the kind of debut he would have if he is with AEW, And I remember in my head I was thinking maybe it's Rico, but as like that for me that was one of those like that'll never happen ideas. But I'm like, imagine it's Rico, and I meant to say it to Mike, but then I said, nah, let me just keep that to myself. And then it ended up being Rico, and I'm like, God damn it, writes itself.
Listen, let me tell you. I said the same. Listen, call us. Nah, it's a perfect match. It's a perfect fit. Like, I wonder if Billy and Rico will bump into each other backstage and just look at each other and what's up?
And that was the perfect way to also bring him in, because he had that history with Billy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's a match. They said that it wasn't going to be a one-off, so it looks like you might see.
Yeah, because they had that. I don't know if you saw, like, AEW always has the exclusive backstage reactions after their matches. They put them up on YouTube and on their Instagram, and he gave them a gift. And they open the box. We don't know what's in it, but they open the box and it glows, and they're like, and then they look at the cameraman and they're like, get out of here. You're not supposed to see this. Something like that. Like they're like, get out of here. So now I need to know, what's in the fucking box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Exactly.
I'll always remember Rico, but I'll also remember Rico from American Gladiators. You ain't that old. He was a contestant. Went pretty far too. He might. So Zack Sabre Jr. finally achieved his goal and became the New Japan World Champion. We talked about wrestlers getting over and such, and this is a guy who is very well respected in the business, very technical, has been given the business and has been gotten the business by everyone up and down from Europe to Asia to the States. And he finally achieved his goal of winning the New Japan World Championship. Thoughts?
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome for him. He, I wasn't really too familiar with Zack Sabre. Like, I would see a little bit of New Japan stuff on TV, and I'm like, okay, this guy has an interesting look. He kind of reminded me of Nigel McGuinness, and he really impressed me in the ring. Like, I was like, oh, this guy is freaking amazing, and the personality, everything, that cockiness that he's got, and little by little, you saw him climbing up, and now he's finally got this belt, and it's so well earned, well deserved. Good for him. I'm happy for him.
You think with a guy with a frame like he does, like he looks hungry. Like he does look like he needs a sandwich or something. But the guy can work.
Oh my God.
He'll break down an opponent. Charismatic. Even he would come in with the jacket, throw up the
hair,
the collar, had the collar, the hair up and everything. But I remember him this year saying that if I don't achieve my goal of winning the championship, then I haven't done what I wanted to do in wrestling, and I don't think that I should be here anymore.
Wow.
And he sure enough went out and got what he needed to get. And,
that's right.
Congratulations to that man.
Yeah. Now, can we get the dream match with him and Nigel? Please. Just please.
No, I know. It could be happening sooner. If we saw a little face to face, it could happen.
Dynasty.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Next up, John Laurinaitis divorce. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad she left your ass.
So long.
Right?
Oh, fucking pig.
I just never understood how that relationship with the Bella's mother really, knowing how like the locker room, the females thought how skeezy he was.
Oh, yeah. Especially during that era. Ugh. Like, how did they let their mother marry that man?
Exactly. Like,
Mom, no. What are you doing?
In Spanish, we have a terminology that says "me cae mal."
Yes.
Like, when something doesn't feel right, me cae mal.
It's so funny because it translates directly to "it falls bad on me."
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
but it's still like "ese me cae mal."
Yeah.
Like, I never, and especially knowing that how he brought the Bellas in from like seeing them in a magazine and lusting over them and go, they need to be here. Oh,
so
but
gross.
Congratulations, lady. You beat brain cancer, and now you also beat a guy who should have dick cancer. So congratulations.
Exactly.
This year's TNA Hall of Fame announced that Rhino and Rob Ryder will be inductees to the TNA Hall of Fame. I always like this because it's so condensed and it's so small. It's only like two. Yeah. We don't need to do like the whole 8-person pageantry and stuff like that. Yeah. Congratulations to Rhino. I know we've known Rhino for like uber years and such, man.
Yeah. One of my favorites right there. Yeah. One of my favorites is Rhino. I don't know who Rob Ryder is though. I guess he did like backstage.
He was one of the creators of TNA when it first developed.
Okay. Gotcha,
one of the originators and such.
I wasn't familiar with who he was. So yeah, he's a behind the scenes guy basically.
Yeah. For Rhino, probably one of the best spears, gores we've ever seen in the business. And also really nice dude. Really cool dude.
He is, right? I always say that. Like he was one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
So nice. I adore him.
All head and shoulders, but like it's always like,
and like I can't lie. I had a little crush on him.
Another Spanish terminology. He had the moonlos.
You know, yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, congratulations to that man. Maybe he'll get a dual one. Maybe he'll get an induction to WWE's down the line. Maybe
He deserves it too.
yeah. Sticking on TNA. Casey Navarro signs with TNA. Congratulations to that young man. He's grown. Yeah, he's grown. He's grown on the fan base for the past couple of years. Young dude as well.
Very young. Yeah.
I'm happy that TNA is getting the looks that they used to get years ago. It's happening. They're reemerging again. I always said they're the cockroaches of promotions because they won't die. They just won't die.
No, yeah. I just hope that all these new signees are signing on to actually have a career in TNA and not thinking this is their little like segue to try to get into WWE because of the relationship that they have now with TNA. And I mean, listen. I don't blame them if that's what they feel. Everybody's goal is to level up. But it's like, I just don't want to see TNA lose out too many people once contracts start to like expire, and then they're left with nobody after they build up so many people. And then they got to try to find people to build. You know, like I would like to see TNA have their core people.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's there's something to what it used to be before where it was, I'm ride or die TNA regardless of the game. Right. But I've always said, and I hate to use this terminology because as much as I hate the team and such, but if you're a baseball fan, you want to play for the Yankees. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. One way along the line, you're going to want to play, you're going to want to be in WWE.
Right.
I know wrestlers to this day who's going to be out the door and they're like, you know what, I'm happy for my career, but I would have gotten that one moment in WWE, So I'm not mad at that, but there still has to be that, commitment and be like, yo, I want to help make this company bigger. So
because the more promotions we have up there, the better for the whole business, right?
Right.
And I would love to see TNA rebuild itself as the number 3.
Yeah. Bound for Glory is coming up soon, so. Mm-hmm. So we should be doing some predictions for that down the line as well. Right, cool. Michael Cole signs a long-term deal with WWE. Where was he going? I mean, come on.
Where? Come on. Okay. That's a lifer right there. Listen, he's been so happy the last couple of years.
Oh, please!
Oh my God, I've never seen this side of Michael Cole before.
that man he's a pig in shit these days.
I don't got this crazy old man in my ear anymore. I can say what I want.
I love it because no matter what it was, he ate the shit. He ate it and was like, fuck it. I'm just, he's a loyal guy. You think about it. It's my job. It's what I got to do.
Very.
I know. This is a guy who was, a reporter in wartime and he would be out there. Yeah. And for him to be like, hey, listen, I could be freaking having bombs landing over my head. Mm-hmm. And when I'm here, listen to the old man telling me to make fart jokes. It's like, all right, whatever. It's like, okay.
Get paid.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But now he's like in his Renaissance phase, like especially with McAfee and such. He's like losing his shit.
No, but, I'm happy for him. Good for him, man.
And I know for years everybody used to sit there and go, "Oh my God, I can't stand Michael Cole." But now you get it. Now you know what it was.
Yeah, now you understand why. Yeah, it wasn't his fault.
Yeah. Congratulations, Michael Cole. And yes, I have learned to appreciate Michael Cole a little bit more these past couple of years.
Yeah.
Did you see this back and forth on Twitter this past weekend with Tony Khan and JD from NY?
Yes, I did.
So, if you guys don't know, unfortunately, I do know. I know him. JD from NY is a wrestling podcaster, has a following. Puzzles me. And also does work with House of Glory as well. I know he does. I believe he still does. I'm not sure if he still does it, but he did commentary for them as well. Okay. Also was a guest on Turnbuckle Tabloid some time back as well. And he's known, I don't believe it's trolling, But I think it's just having these heated exchanges with not only the fans, but the wrestlers themselves.
Right.
And this past week, he had gotten into 2 altercations. One was with Dax from FTR, where, he was discussing, he was trying to be sympathetic to Dax and the whole hurricane thing.
Right.
Dax blew up his spot and called him a mark. It's like who cares about this?
Yeah, because didn't he say something like to Dax, like, "Oh, with everything going on down there, you got time to tweet or some shit like that?" And Dax was like, "Yo, mind your fucking business."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "I'm trying to get on HOG. See you then." I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna be on HOG."
Fine now.
Oh,
I'm gonna see. Let me see if I get a shoot of that shit. Let's get it. And then this past weekend, he was making comments about the creative in AEW, and a fan. It was I believe nobody believes in Orange Cassidy or something like that. And then someone, no one believes in Daniel Garcia.
Daniel Garcia, right?
And the fan says we believe in Daniel Garcia, and JD, to paraphrase, called the fan stupid, in which Tony Khan responded to him, and they had an exchange and about, he says, what we mentioned earlier, wrestling is subjective, it's opinionated and such. And Tony Khan said, "Hey, I didn't call you stupid for the past 5 years in which you discussed the product." And JD responded saying something of the ilk like, "Well, apparently I was supposedly on your payroll for the past 3 years, but then, the next 2, I haven't been happy with the creative, fix it," and such.
Right. And something like, I could call people stupid if I want to, blah, blah.
Right. So, I've seen many wrestlers call this dude out, like, especially women wrestlers or females have put him on blast.
He loves it. He loves it.
Yeah.
He's getting attention from these people. Like, he loves it. It's all intentional because he wants to be on their radar. And whether they, and listen, they have every right to respond to.
Right.
Because they're human beings. Like, I remember, I forgot who was ragging on Ricochet recently on Twitter, and Ricochet answered, and someone was like, "Dude, you don't have to answer him." He's like, "Well, I am going to answer him." I was like, "Oh, shit." But Tony, I thought he handled it very well.
Yeah, he was very professional with it.
He was professional with it. He took the high road. He didn't get nasty with him. He kind of was like, "All right, you know what? Do you?" But I appreciate that Tony did come to that fan's defense.
Yeah, that's my thing, that a lot of people give Tony too much because he has a way too high of a social media presence when it comes to, but at the same basis, he's a fan, and
right.
That's he's protecting his product and such.
Yeah, he's watching.
But to me, it's also, I don't know. With JD, it's like you're giving too much attention to him.
Yeah. You're giving him exactly what he wants.
You're
right into it.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't even think it's like just trolling. Trolling is something different. This is just him.
Yeah.
This is how he is. So
yeah,
I don't know. But congratulations. Yes, it's rare that I give kudos to Tony Khan when it comes to his way of handling the socials, but he was very professional with that. Kudos to him.
Yeah.
And then on the other note, I have to go back.
Oh God.
I have to flip it back. So apparently AEW and New Japan has come to an agreement to where from here on out, they will be monitoring agreements with indie wrestlers who appear on their shows, especially their pay-per-views, and ensuring that they don't immediately leap to the competitors' promotion. This due to the Stephanie Vercour situation. And I'm not in 100% agreement with this.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta see more of it, of what they're trying to. The way Stephanie handled it, in my opinion, was a little unprofessional. Like she just cut ties with the contract she had and just bounced instead of just finishing off whatever contract time she had left.
That was
I
my
don't know
thing.
how long. That's the thing. I don't know how long she had left. That's the thing.
Right. That was my question. Like, what was it for?
Right. Like she. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, yeah, I'm in that same boat.
It's just I don't know. This is. I mean, listen. I don't know. It's hard to say. We're not in that business on that side of it, at least.
Right.
So I can understand how these promotions felt when she did what she did. And,
yeah, but you know what? You know what? The other thing too. There's the name of them. They're independent wrestlers.
At the same time, they're independent wrestlers, right?
Right, and it's different if you're under contract, but you're independent wrestler. I don't know how that goes. That's kind of redundant.
Yeah.
That's like a contradictory.
Yeah.
But if you're booked for a company for an event, as opposed to being on the contract, I think it's basically saying, well, you're just booking me for a one shot. I could do whatever the fuck I want after. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if she had a handshake agreement. Don't know if there was something on the table.
Right. Or if they had anything planned for her.
Right.
I'm pretty sure AW was hoping that she would stick around, even if she wasn't all elite, at least come around and make her appearances, from time to time, like other folks do, like the New Japan women or whatnot. I mean, the Japanese women do and whatnot. And like you said, it could have been a handshake, or maybe, I mean, I don't like you said, we don't know what type of agreements they have with the indie or non-signed wrestlers. Maybe they do like a little mini contract or a little mini agreement. I don't know. I mean, you would think they would.
Yeah, especially in her situation, there were stories about her trying to get away from the abusive boyfriend in Mexico and such. So there was a lot, right? And there was threats of bodily harm and all that stuff.
Right?
So,
yeah.
Sometimes you got to make that move, and I get that, but I don't know.
She got stuck there because of her visa.
Right. So I'm like I said, I don't know. I'm not quite sure about this one. It has to be a little bit more fleshing out with it.
Yeah, we need more details on this.
Yeah, but like I said, at the end of the day, if you're an independent wrestler, you're an independent wrestler. You can't fucking tell me where the fuck I'm going to go to after.
Yeah, exactly. So. Unless there's some kind, like you said, unless there was some kind of mini agreement set for X amount of time, then that's a different story.
And that's going to lead us to the... The main event of Wrestling Rundown, ladies and gentlemen. And did you get to see the Afa Jr. outlaw incident?
Bro.
Yo.
That was...
I would play it, but I would think I would get freaking flagged. So, in case you guys haven't seen it, look it up. Afa Jr. Outlaw Wrestling. Apparently at an event this past week, Afa Jr. was scheduled to be in a match with another wrestler, and apparently the wrestler was in the gimmick of a Samoan, but apparently he wasn't Samoan.
Right. He was Latino.
Right.
Yeah.
And Afa took none too kindly to this and began to shoot on said wrestler. For you people who don't know, shoot means to make it real. So,
he beat the daylights out this poor kid.
Right. And if you saw the size differential.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So, I've met the guy. The guy always seemed cool. Like, I never seen like he always seemed like a good dude. And I'm not sure if there was any heat beforehand, what went on, but how we haven't heard anything. I would love to get Bull on the show. Bull, shout out to Bull at Outlaw Wrestling. We'd love to see your thoughts on this and what if you would talk about it as well. But yeah, I just want to know what's your thoughts on handling business in the ring like that?
Yeah, I don't think that's right. If he had an issue, because I'm sure he saw the guy before the match. Obviously, they had to work through the planning of the match. Speak to him backstage like a man. Face to face, like, listen, I don't know if I appreciate this. being from the family that I'm from.
Mm.
You don't have to wait until you're in the ring and just lay him out. Like, that's so wrong. It's just wrong. Like, people should get arrested for doing that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I was about to say
right?
that would be considered like
assault.
assault. Yeah.
But then on one hand, and I'm not making any excuses because what he did was absolutely not cool. He's been through it for these last few months. You know,
Mm.
he lost his father, he lost his uncle,
right?
He had health issues himself.
Yeah,
and you know, when you lose somebody special and you're grieving. I mean, I don't know if I'm sure you've lost someone close to you. Sometimes you don't think irrationally because your heart hurts so much,
mm-hmm.
and seeing this young man could have triggered a massive grief wave in him,
right?
That caused him to lash out physically. Like, how dare you stand here and, in his opinion, desecrate my family's bloodline or my country's culture, culturally appropriating it. If I thought that, and for him, his response was to physically lash out on his kid.
Yeah.
You know, being in that mindset is it's very tricky because, you know, you do lose yourself in it.
Yeah. You know? Working in the field, as many of you guys know, working in psychiatry for as many years I have, like I already mentioned, there is trauma and then there's triggers. Mm-hmm. So, of course, they go hand in hand because due to trauma, you will receive triggers from it.
Right.
And it's good that you mentioned that could be a trigger for him, especially seeing the young man in the gimmick, you know, and such. And who knows what the discussion was that occurred in the back. Maybe he saw him and said, dude, I don't think you should go out there like that. And then it could have been whatever.
Right.
My whole thing was he cut a promo afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't very happy with the Puerto Rican piece of shit line. I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. I was like, really, bro? Like, come on.
Okay, I wasn't happy about that. Then the other line was, I don't do cosplay. This is me. And I'm like, bro, wrestling is cosplay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, wrestling is cosplay.
Yeah.
You know, although they build your family member from Samoa, he played a Yakuza.
Yeah, he played a sumo.
You know, you have a red-headed Muslim who wore a lucha mask and called himself Generico. You know,
joined the bloodline.
You had an African who played a Jamaican. His name is Kofi Kingston. It's all cosplay. Everything's cosplay.
I mean, yeah. Woo. Yeah.
So, that was kind of like, and like you said, could have been something that just triggered him and just went off the cuff and just lost it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's still to believe that kid, yeah, that definitely could have been handled differently.
Yeah, he didn't deserve that. I mean, he could have looked at him and said, "Oh, you know, he's paying homage to."
Right.
You know, because we see. I mean, how many times are you going to beat up a random fan because he's wearing? I mean, we've seen some of these fans that dress like Roman at shows with their own little chili pepper necklace and their belt. He's going to beat them up too.
Yeah, you know, but I guess it's different when you're in the ring with the gimmick.
Yeah,
and
I guess so. It's crossing the line. But,
you know, the maximum male models, I don't think they're really models. I don't think, you know.
And I don't think they're really
maximum.
Whatever sexuality that they're trying to portray. They're married men with kids, for goodness sake.
You know, like, but I don't know. And that for me was just a little bit off-putting, especially knowing and meeting dude and having conversations with the guy. Real nice guy.
Yeah.
And like you said, could have been, had those issues going on this past year.
It's still not an excuse to assault somebody.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No.
But thanks again, my dear, for stopping in with us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
We had some viewership and viewers on TikTok going on. It's all about you. It has nothing to do with me.
Oh, come on.
It's all about you.
Without you, there is no show. Come on.
So, Adi, let everybody know what's coming up, what's happening, and what's going down the line.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna have our History and Headlocks episode 6 popping up. It's going to be about Latin American history and professional wrestling. We discuss different personalities and different cultures that are represented, and also some lack of certain cultures that can use a boost in professional wrestling. And we also have Ray joining us, and it's a really great, deep, insightful conversation that we had.
Yeah, you guys really did a great job with that.
Mike.
I was so excited to
moderator.
I was ready to jump in. Like I was like, it was like double dutch. I was like, I want to say this. So I'm like,
you should have just jumped in. Come on, you can have your point of view. You're Puerto Rican and a wrestling fan. It would have been a perfect.
Like I said, when you guys have your shows, so I just say that's why I was like ciphering it through you with the text. I was like,
I know I was looking too. Like, let me see if I have time. I was trying to slip things in, but my goodness, they were just,
the moderators
segueing everywhere. I was like, all right. So I'm like, wait a minute.
you were doing double dutch as well.
Yeah,
you were trying to jump in as well.
Absolutely.
But thanks again for your time, my dear.
Thank you.
And for you guys, make sure you check us out on all the social media outlets, on the podcasting networks as well for Turnbuckle Tabloid. We're approaching 500 episodes, man. We're going to be 15 away.
Awesome.
That shit is creeping up really fast, man. Wow. Been juggling like 3 clowns in a circus doing all this stuff, because we also have New York WrestleMania. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. We've been distributing shows every other week just for just to get a following so far. And once we get more shows added on and such, you guys will know firsthand. Make sure to like, subscribe, be part of the vibe on all things connected to Turnbuckle Tabloid and New York WrestleMania. And as I always tell you guys, catch you guys in a sec.
2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Turnbuckle Tabloid.